morning year 4. So we are going to carry on adding fractions today, but we're going to add another step to it. So we're going to add the fraction, we're then going to do a mixed number fraction and then simplify the fraction. So if you look here, I'll take you step by step. So here we're adding 5, 6 and we're adding another 5, 6. So you can see it pictorially here. So remember that we only add the numerator, not the denominator. So the denominator is going to stay as 6. And then we're doing 5 add 5, which is 10. So that's the first step, nice and easy. Now we're going to convert this into a mixed number fraction. So remember, for there to be a whole number here, because this denominator is 6, then we'd need 6 from the numerator to make one whole. So how many 6's go into 10? Well, that's 1. And then if we're at 6 and we need to get to 10, how many parts does that leave? Well, that leaves 4, doesn't it, to get from 6 to 10. So we've got 4 parts left over, and the denominator stays as 6. We can't make another whole because we'd need another 6 parts to make another whole. So we've added the fraction, we've got an improper fraction, and then we've created it into a mixed number fraction. Now I want to see if I can simplify this fraction. So the whole number stays the same because we can't simplify a whole. Can we simplify 4/6? So can we make that fraction smaller by dividing it? So you need to think about what number fits into both. So obviously 1 fits into both, but that would keep the same as 4/6. Does 2 fit into both? 2, 4, 6. Yeah. Does 3 fit into both? No. Does 4 fit into both? No. So we're going to divide 4/6 by 2. So what is 4 divided by 2? That would leave you with 2. So 2, 4. And what is 6 divided by 2? 2, 4, 6. That would leave you with 3. So when we've simplified this fraction, it's 1 whole and 2/3. All these things you've done before, so you've added the fraction, you've turned it into a mixed number fraction, and now we're just simplifying the fraction, which we did last week. So here's another example. We've got 5/8 add 7/8. So again, denominator stays the same. What is 5 add 7? That is 12. And then we've got 12/8. So now we need to turn it into a mixed number fraction. So how many 8's go into 12 to make one whole? That would be 1. And then if you're at 8, how do you get to 12? So how many parts are left over? That would be 4. 4 parts are left over. And the denominator is 8. So that's your mixed number fraction. Now I want to know if we can simplify this to make it smaller. You can never simplify the whole, so that's staying as 1. Can we simplify 4/8? Can we make it smaller? So 1 definitely goes into it because 1 goes into everything. Does 2 go into both? Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. Does 3 go into both? Yeah, no, it doesn't. Does 4 go into both? Well, 4 goes into 4 and 4 goes into 8. 4, 8. So we're going to divide both these numbers to simplify it by 4. How many 4's go into 4? Well, that is 1. And how many 4's go into 8? 4, 8. That is 2. So this fraction simplified is 1 whole and 1/2. Another example we've got here is 9/10 and 7/10. So again, the denominator stays as 10, and we're adding the 9 and the 7, which would give us 16. There is your fractions that have been added. Now we're going to change it into a mixed number fraction. So to make a whole, you need 10/10. So how many 10's fit into 16? That is 1. And then how many parts left over do you have? Well, if you're at 10, you need to get to 16. That is 6 parts left over. And the denominator stays as 10. Now we're going to simplify this fraction. So remember, you can't simplify a whole, that stays as 1. Can you make 6/10 smaller? So what number divides into both? So 1 clearly does. Does 2? Yeah, 2 goes into 6 and 10. Does 3? No, 3 doesn't go into 6 and 10. Does 4? No. Does 5? No. Does 6? No. So the number that divides into both of these numbers is 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 2, 4, 6. So that's 3. And 10 divided by 2 is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's 5. So simplified, this fraction is 1 whole and 3/5. Now I'm just going to show you the task for today. So it's asking for different steps. So if you have a look, you've got 4/9 plus 8/9. So you need to write that as an improper fraction. Then you convert it to a mixed number fraction. So 1 plus how many? And then here is where you simplify it, where you divide the fraction so you can make it any smaller. and it's a similar step for B. And then on C, it's asking you to add 3 fractions and give an improper fraction. And then you write down here the whole number, the fraction, and then the answer is the simplified fraction. And then on question 2, you're adding these 2 fractions, and it wants it in the simplest form. So add the 2 fractions. So here you've got 3 add 3 is 6, and the denominator is 4. It wants you to write the simplified form here, but what I'd like you to do first is do it as a mixed number and then convert it into the simplified form. So 6/4 would give you 1 whole and 2/4. And then here, can you write what that is as a simplified fraction? So 1 whole and 2/4. So you can halve 2 and 4, which would make 1 half. And then do the same for C, B, C and D, and then the same for question 3. So just remember, the first step is to add the fraction, the second step is to turn it into a mixed number fraction, and then the third step is to find a number that divides into both of those numbers to give it in its simplest form. Okay, if you need any help, this from the blog. If not, I'll speak to you tomorrow.